Hi, it's Hilti Carlson here. Any day a Stanley Kubrick film comes out in the 4K Ultra High Def format, it's certainly cause for celebration. His 1975 period epic Barry Lyndon has finally arrived on the format courtesy of the Criterion collection, and I picked it up during the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale, so I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. There's the great cover art there, simple and to the point. You got presumably Barry there holding the dueling pistol. There's the spines, back cover. This is number 897 in the Criterion collection that previously released the film on the Blu-ray disc format. Inside the package we got this great gatefold art of a battle going on. And over here we have 3 discs. We have the film in 4K Ultra High Def, we have a Blu-ray disc of the film, and an additional Blu-ray disc consisting of further bonus features. We then have a booklet right here. We've got, Redmond Barry at the beginning of the movie, and then we have later in the movie, of course, when he takes the title of Barry Lyndon. Table of contents, cast and other credits. There's an essay called Time Regained by Jeffrey O'Brien. Got some great words in here as well as some excellent photographs from the film. Special thanks and production credits. Stanley Kubrick bent the conventions of the historical drama to his own will in this dazzling vision of a pitiless aristocracy adapted from a novel by William Makepeace Thackeray. In picturesque detail, Barry Lyndon chronicles the adventures of an incorrigible trickster whose opportunism takes him from an Irish farm to the battlefields of the 7 Years' War and the parlors of high society. From the most sumptuously crafted film of his career, Kubrick created the decadent surfaces and intricate social codes of the period with the help of pioneering techniques and lavish costume and production design, all of which earned Academy Awards. The result is a masterpiece, a sardonic, devastating portrait of a vanishing world whose opulence conceals the moral vacancy at its heart. When it comes to Stanley Kubrick, the first films that come to mind are probably things like 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining, A Clockwork Orange. Barry Lyndon came out in the middle of the 70s and unfortunately tends to get a little neglected when it comes to talks about the Kubrick filmography, which is a shame because it's a beautifully made period piece. It's a known fact that Kubrick always wanted to make a film about Napoleon but never got to do so. Barry Lyndon is the closest he ever came to making an epic of that era. And what an epic it certainly is. Ryan O'Neal stars as Redmond Barry, the title character who later takes on the name and title of Barry Lyndon. And he's just this sort of trickster type who finds himself exiled from his home following a duel that turned out in his favor. Not wanting to get arrested, he finds himself on the road, serving in 2 different armies, working alongside a professional gambler that he befriends, and even finding himself in the midst of high society. Just seeing how he jumps from place to place, and his actions, as comical or detestable as they may be, certainly makes for a very interesting film. Production design here is top-notch. It's been said that Kubrick always had the film naturally lit, and it really captures that 18th century vibe with the locales, the paintings we see on display, the castles and other settings, the more peasant-driven areas, and of course the great musical score that plays throughout the movie. At 185 minutes, Barry Lyndon has an intermission and is certainly not a short film, but that said, it's anything but boring. I will admit the movie maybe is something of an acquired taste because it is slow-paced and deliberate, but it's a feast for the eyes in every sense of the word. Stanley Kubrick certainly knew the art of cinema better than just about anyone else, past, present, or future, and Barry Lyndon is a place where he certainly displays that. And there's a great cast of supporting actors as well, including roles from people like Patrick McGee and Stephen Burkow. I absolutely love going back and watching Barry Lyndon. Every time I do, it's certainly a rewarding experience. I love this movie, and I'm always eager to come back to it. This is the first 4K release of Barry Lyndon. Criterion had previously released the film on the Blu-ray disc format. The packaging does state that this is a new 4K restoration of the film. You do need to keep in mind that Barry Lyndon was not a movie that was ever meant to be ultra high-def demo material. It's always had a bit of a dreamlike haze and softness to it, but the addition of HDR certainly makes a world of difference, and it gets that little uptick. It's a beautiful looking disc and really helps to bring out the colors. It's Barry Lyndon, the absolute best it's probably ever going to look. Longtime fans of the film will certainly be okay with that. And we do, again, get the same assortment of bonus features that was included in Criterion's previous Blu-ray package, and there's certainly quite a bit to feast on here, including an interview with actor Leon Vitali, who plays Lord Bullingdon in the film, and then several, vintage and more recent pieces as well. If you've already got the Blu-ray from before, none of this is going to look new to you, but it's certainly worth checking out. Overall, Barry Lyndon is a fantastic period piece. One thing I love about Stanley Kubrick is the guy made so many different genres of movie, he rarely made the same genre twice. He never made another lavish 18th century period epic, but the one he made is a classic for the ages. Don't overlook Barry Lyndon when you're looking at the Kubrick catalog. It's a masterpiece and one that certainly deserves to be mentioned a little more. How about you? What do you think of Barry Lyndon? Do you think it's the best performance of Ryan O'Neal's career? Do you think it's Stanley Kubrick at his finest? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.